My name is Bubsy Rob, aka Hazard, and I'm a Clash Royale player for NRG Esports. Hazard, it was based off of an old dog of ours that we kind of brought into our home for a while. And it means a good bit to me personally, actually, just to, kind of keep that name in my life. For most of my life, I was a lot more of a quiet kid, Even growing up, I didn't have many friends, whatever. I was always more interested in math and stuff like chess, a lot more quiet things. Transitioning into Clash Royale originally was fairly easy for me because I used to play a lot of competitive chess. At my height, I was one of the top 100 in the country for my age demographic. So what I really did for chess, I didn't really practice openings and stuff like that. I always just played speed chess online, which is very intuitive, very stuff like that. I only played 3 or 1 minute formats. And it was the same thing with the Clash Royale competitive scene. I was in one of the most competitive clans very early on in the game, and ever since then, bigger and better opportunities come up. Obviously with NRG now is the biggest thing that's happened pretty much in Clash Royale since I started.
Come on! Let's go! Let's go!
I mean, I always thought it was decent because I was always playing people with higher level cards than me, and I was always putting up a pretty good fight, if not winning. But the moment when I realized that I could be competitively viable was during 15K tournaments, the in-game tournaments in Clash when it first came out. I was watching the top players and then the people who were always first, second, third, and I was trying to predict their plays, and most of the time I was able to either get it right or, have a pretty similar play to them. And ever since I was able to kind of predict their plays and say, hey, look, if they can do that and I can know what they're going to do, why can't I do that myself? And then I just started kind of following through with that.
Trust me, chat, I got this.
If I had to put an age on how I look, I would probably say 15, 16. It's definitely a little bit better than it was a few months ago. I would say it was like 12 or 13. But honestly, it doesn't really bother me. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is if people come into my stream and just constantly ask how old I am or if I'm a girl even, so stuff like that. But it is pretty funny, and especially with my friends at school, it's kind of a running joke. Being away from home, I've always been pretty independent, but this is the first time I'm going to be away from any family for more than obviously a few weeks. I've lived with my grandparents for, I think, 2-3 weeks, and that was really the most amount of time I spent away from my direct parents and my brother. So it'll be a little weird, but I think I'm ready. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't feel confident in myself. No, I didn't say that.
That's true. I don't think you have either.
I didn't say that.
I
think living in a team house means a lot to us, and it will help us a lot with practicing. It is a fairly individual game, but just having that hands-on kind of advice, that tips, that being able to practice with anyone pretty much at any time, knowing that they're always going to be a good player, they're always going to give constructive criticism, you're always going to be able to talk about the match afterwards, really allows you to kind of study the game in depth and just get that much more involved and kind of intense with practicing. My teammates and I really get along really well. We listen to a lot of music together, we're playing together all day. We really just like hanging out with each other,
We could do one X-Unit and one like Ice was made with Rocket to improve the cycle.
Sure. For NRG in the season, I think we are expecting a good bit from ourselves. I think you can expect a good bit from us as well. Maybe even finishing first, that would be great. I think we're just gonna give our best, see how things go. And obviously if we win, that would be great. But I think we'll have a very competitive roster and be able to, perform pretty well. A lot of my life, I haven't really been able to play a lot of sports and stuff like that. But being able to be competitive, that's something that I really enjoy. Being able to pursue it fully while still maintaining my school and stuff like that back home. It really just means that, all this time I spent playing or whatever, and, building these relationships online, they really do amount to something. And it's kind of as cliche as it is, like following your dream, doing what you enjoy. Sometimes things may come of it, sometimes they may not, but for me, it worked out.